Hey everybody, welcome back to Kindred Spirits on the Roof. Last time we got to catch up with Tsukio and Kiri at the school festival, and we got to see what they were up to during that time. And now we're back on the main subplot. We're going to take some of the story from Sachi's perspective again. We gotta wait until we get back to Yuna. The suspense is killing me, but I'm down just to be back on the main plot once again. And you know what? I was thinking that we know Sachi and Megumi saw the whole conversation between Miyu and Matsuri and Hina. And that's really cool. Like, now that whole them not wanting to tell Yuna about who Hina chose kind of has a whole new meaning to it, has another layer on it. So that was just something I wanted to mention as we're getting back to our two kindred spirits. A bench on the roof, the two of us under a starry sky. Megumi and I sat beside each other, aware of the subtle shift in the air between us. I wondered what was different. Perhaps the mood of yesterday's excitement still lingered.
学園祭楽しかったですね、サチさん。そうね。めぐみもう何回目？何度も同じこと言ってるわよ。だって本当に楽しかったんですもん。めぐみ、学園祭にあんな風に参加したの初めてだったんですから。そうね。本当に楽しかったわね。
Everything had been cleaned up, and there was hardly any trace of it left. This year's festival was especially enjoyable, not just for Megumi, but for me too. I saw all sorts of things together with Yuna-san, and I was treated to all sorts of food from the stands. But most of all, it was truly heartwarming to watch all the girls we've been helping have fun together.
最後の最後にすごいのも見ちゃいましたしね。ねえ。 ひなちゃんかっこよかったわね。
Hina-chan's confession to Yuna-san at the main gate. She conveyed her feelings so boldly. I wonder how Yuna-san felt hearing them. I'm curious, can Sachi tell how Yuna's feeling by any chance? Or are Yuna's feelings so well covered up that Sachi can't sense them?
あの時のユナの顔、面白かったな。ダメよ、そんな言い方しちゃ。でも、同感だわ。
Yuna-san had gone completely silent, dumbfounded. Then she'd finally started home with Hina-chan. Confined to the school grounds, Megumi and I weren't able to follow them. I wonder what Yuna's response was. Perhaps she'll tell us when we see her on Monday. Will she answer if we ask her? Megumi laid her head on my shoulder. My adorable sweetheart. She knows the real me now, and she accepted it. I could go anywhere with Megumi. I would go anywhere, as long as we were together.
Megumi?
And I called out her name with all the affection I could muster. My pulse quickened, my body temperature rose. Again, I'm not quite sure how those things work when you're a ghost, but I imagine you might have some of the sensations that you have when you're alive, sure, just because you're used to them. I put my arm around Megumi's shoulder, pulled her body a little closer to mine, so that we touched each other more tightly. I'm not sure how this is happening, though. I'm nervous. I wonder if Megumi can tell what I'm thinking right now. Megumi's soft voice, barely more than a whisper, but my ears held on to every sound. So she could tell. She understood. We felt the same way. It wasn't something we discussed and decided Neither of us knew that this would happen today. We may have just naturally understood that it was coming, that this was the time. The time for us to become one. My hand still on her shoulder, I softly lowered her down. She slowly reclined on the bench. I bent down with her, supporting her weight. Our eyes were locked to each other. We lay together on the bench, under the shine of the stars and the moon, and the faraway glow of the city and the streetlights. I gazed down at Megumi, illuminated by those lights as she lay with the bench as her bed. From our successes, I have an idea of what to do next. Though Megumi and I have never observed a couple at the same time, so our expectations might differ somewhat. But the fact that neither of us are wavering now may mean that our feelings are the same. I slowly brought my face towards hers. Megumi closed her eyes and waited with open, inviting arms. Our lips met in a new sort of kiss. We faced each other, joining completely in the act, a kiss of complete and total intimacy. With our lips still together, I readied myself and tried. Yeah, why do I feel like I know where this is going? To take off Megumi's uniform. Tried. I realized we were embracing each other, kissing, yet I couldn't remove her clothing. No, in the first place, we were so close to each other, yet we couldn't even feel each other, not our embrace nor our kiss. It was all nothing but an illusion. Oh, that makes me so sad. I mean, I kind of knew that that was gonna happen, but it doesn't make it any less heartbreaking. Oh. It wasn't that we'd forgotten that we were spirits. We're no longer possessed of our bodies. They've long since faded to dust in our graves. We're spirits, separated from all physical contact. That's why we can pass through walls and such. We'd sat together on the bench, embraced and kissed. Those were things we'd experienced countless times before, but we'd only been imagining them, making up the sensations. But having no experience touching someone so deeply, becoming one with someone, we couldn't even imagine it. Unable to pretend, our fingers, our hands futilely passed through one another. We stared at each other, stumped. Since becoming a ghost, this may be the first time I've been at such a loss. Aww. Well, that's kind of heartbreaking. Though I kind of knew that was going to happen. But yeah, it still sucks. It was kind of a sweet moment too. And then, yeah, to have it just dampened by Oh yeah, we're not really touching, and these things we're feeling, we're just kind of imagining from what we expect it to feel like. Ugh. Though the uniform thing is interesting. So when you die, and you become a ghost, does what you're wearing just like become a part of you from when you died? I don't know. Probably not a question worth investigating or obsessing over at this point. Because now, if you're looking at the screen as I am, we are in October. Oh, and we're back to Yuna. And oh, can you tell how excited I am? Okay. Monday. Monday. A week and 2 days since the school festival. Yes, it's been over a week since then, since that busy, hectic school festival, since I heard those words from Hina at the end of it. Yunine, can I have more rice? Ah, sure. What about everything else? That enough? It's good. Okay. Hina confessed to me on the last day of the school festival. I love you, Yunine. The moment I heard it, my head just filled up with those words. I was too overloaded that day to think of anything else. I went home, made dinner, ate, staggered into my room, and face-planted onto my bed, going to sleep just like that. And when I woke up the next day, it was like the words were still swirling around in my head. They were just stuck after that. And they still are now. Yunine? Huh? Oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't listening. You're not gonna eat? Oh. My chopsticks weren't moving. I came back to myself, realizing I'd been lost in thought. That's right. I still haven't answered Hina's confession. I haven't been able to answer. Since I don't know how, the answer just won't come to me. Hina, you're not late, are you? I'm still good. I've got to go soon, though. You can't be late to morning practice, okay? Hina's the same as always. Nothing has changed about my routine, either. I make breakfast, we eat together, I get our lunches ready. We've eaten dinner together a few times since then, too. Nothing's changed, but my head's still filled with those words from Hina, and no matter how much I think on it, I can't come up with an answer. Thanks for breakfast. You're welcome. The dishes? Oh, could you soak the rice bowl? You can just rinse off your plate. Even with my head muddled like this, I can still function. I'm still cooking and I haven't messed up a dish yet. That's right, priorities, Yuna. But when it's something else, it's like the smallest thing will distract me. And then I'm completely preoccupied with Hina again. Yunine? Huh? Oh, are you heading out? Here's your lunch. Your mom's on her regular shift tonight, right? I'm eating at home. Got it. See you. Yep, see you later. I saw Hina off to her early morning practice. With that sigh, I could feel all my strength flowing out of me. I guess it took more energy than I thought it would to act normal in front of Hina. Being with her shouldn't make me so nervous. But I'm having a lot of trouble interacting normally with her after those words. Maybe that's because I haven't answered her yet. That must have been one awkward walk home. I've been in that position before. Those are awkward walks home. You can answer me whenever. Just tell me when you know what your feelings are, Hina said. Then she merely waited for my answer as she said she would, appearing the same as always, not rushing me in the slightest. Wow, that's really bold of Hina. Hina is pretty honest, it would seem, and serious. Still, I can't keep her waiting forever. But I just can't find my answer. I wonder why, even though I'm thinking about it so much. Oh, morning, Yuna. Morning, Anno. I fell into my seat after greeting Anno. She'd come up to my desk, but there was no energy within me to talk to her. It's been the same all week, ever since Hina confessed to me. I'm all over the place lately. Well, you see, Yuna. Huh? Yeah? I raised my head a bit when Anno addressed me. The thing is, that English homework we were supposed to turn in today... Wow, I'm completely out of it. I even forgot to check what Anno had forgotten. That was supposed to be part of my routine, too. You forgot it? Correct, Yuna. I won't ask to see your answers, but could you at least let me see the question sheet? Sure. The homework we were supposed to turn in today had separate question and answer sheets, so I could lend her the questions on their own. It wouldn't be very good for Anno if I just gave her the answers after all. I think Anno understands I'd think that, which is why she only asked for the questions. I tugged the folder with my homework in it out of my bag. Huh? I checked through the sheets in the folder, but... No way. I didn't bring it. I was astonished to find that the sheet with the questions wasn't in my folder. What? Really? We're only turning the answers, so it's not like it's a problem that I don't have the questions, but... Wow, you don't forget stuff like this too often, do you, Yuna? I think so too. Actually, I don't think it's happened at all since I started school here, or even a while before that. Getting what I need ready the night before is supposed to be one of my habits. Wait, did I check last night? No way. How did I forget? I thought it was something I was particularly careful about, since I knew I'd never convince Anno not to forget things if I forgot them too. Setting a good example, Yuna. So like you. I'm sorry, Anno. It's fine. It's my fault since I forgot it. I'll just get somebody else to show me theirs. No big deal. Could you do that? I'm really sorry. Seriously, it's okay. I'm kind of in shock. Not so much that I forgot something, but that I just completely skipped that step of my routine last night. Hey, Yuna. Huh? Yeah? Have you been kind of tired lately? You're not sick or anything, are you? Huh? There was a worried look on Anna's face. Tired? Not at all. I haven't really been busy lately. Sick? That's not it either. I haven't caught a cold or anything, and physically I feel fine. It's just, I can't stop thinking all the time. It's like it just never ends, or it never comes together. Did something happen? You seem kind of down, Yuna. Do I seem down? Something certainly happened. You can talk to me about anything if you want. Like, really anything. Even if it's crazy. Sure. Has Anno noticed? I am acting weird, aren't I? The one little sentence from Hina has me acting so weird. I'll, believe you, whatever you say, Yuna. So really, anything you want to tell me, go ahead. Believe me? What does she mean? What's there to believe about asking for advice? Anno's wording is a little odd, but... Yeah, I agree. I was actually going to comment on that if Yuna didn't bring it up right now. It almost seems to me like Anno knows something about the spirits. But, I don't know. Anno's been hinting about ghosts at school since the very beginning. Maybe she just wants to believe. Or maybe she's talking about Hina. I don't. But the thing is, if it's about Hina, that whole word believed isn't I don't know, to me it doesn't make sense. To me, yes, it sounds as weird as Yuna thinks it does right now. That Hina had confessed to me, that I couldn't answer her right away, that I've been struggling to answer her all this time. Can I tell Ano that Hina, another girl, confessed to me, and that's why I've been so out of it? I think Ano would be pretty accepting, more or less. Ano seems like a good friend at this point. So, I guess we're done with that, though. Sachi! It's been a while since we've gathered like this, hasn't it, Yuna-san? Yeah. Yuna-san replied emptily, none of the usual energy in her voice. We hadn't gathered on the roof during lunch since the festival ended. Megumi and I were busy searching for the answer to the quandary we'd just encountered, and Yuna-san still seemed to be struggling with Hina-chan's confession. Nevertheless, we decided to gather like this once again. But Yuna-chan hasn't responded to Hina-chan after all. I'm sure of that. There's no energy in either her voice or her manner. We may have a bit of a problem here. Is there anything to do? Well, let's see. Yuna-san had suddenly lifted her head and asked, so I faltered for a moment, too taken aback to find an answer immediately. What is it? What do you need me to do? Yuna-san must have thought there was some problem occurring with one of our charges again. Let's just take care of it, she said. The words were so unlike her. Was she that impatient, or did she really want to avert her eyes that much? Hey, what's going on, Yuna? You're not acting like yourself at all. Huh? She's right. The usual Yuna-san would never be so hasty. You're usually much more meticulous with planning and thinking before you act. There aren't any girls in any particular trouble. Everyone's getting along quite well now. Ah, are they? Yes, if there's any problem, it's... Who is it? Yoka-chan and Aki-chan, I suppose. Yoka? Yes, remember? Yoka-chan confessed to Aki-chan during the school festival, and it was up on stage too. They even kissed in front of everyone. Right. Had she heard about that? It seemed Yuna-san hadn't seen their kiss. It's kind of a topic of conversation in the faculty room. I'm worried the two of them might get in trouble. I see. Yes, it seems they drew a lot of attention. I'm not sure there's anything to be done about it, though. That's true, Yuna-san said, appearing a bit disappointed. I doubt her frustration stemmed from an inability to help, though. She was probably just discouraged, finding that there was nothing she could concentrate on. This is fairly serious, it seems. If only there was something we could do to help. Hey, Sachi-san! Megumi called quietly to me as I was contemplating how best to address the matter. Yes, Megumi? You don't want to ask Yuna about, Well, referred to the problem troubling us at present. Yes, on that Sunday night after the school festival, when the time was right and we tried to become one, the problem we realized then, the fact that, being spirits, the two of us could not touch one another. In other words, if things remained the same, we would never achieve our first time. When confronted by that fact, Megumi and I had been dumbfounded, bewildered. We had gained a helper, Yuna-san, and had assisted all sorts of girls with their love. And those girls had overcome whatever troubles faced them before joining in both body and soul. We had seen them do so. We finally obtained the knowledge of just how two girls become one. All we needed to do now was experience our wonderful first time, yet neither of us had anticipated this problem appearing at the very end. Do you think that's really the only way? Yes, I imagine so. Then we'll have to get Yuna's help. Yes, of course, but at our wits' end. Megumi and I had thought, oh no, I know where this is going now, and I am not... Was there a way for the two of us to experience our first time? To become one with each other? We'd come but to a single conclusion. Ah, so this is where the possession setup comes in. I'm guessing. Do you want me to do the asking then? Huh? But I'll ask her if it's something you're not comfortable doing, Sachi-san. Hey, Yuna! You mustn't, Megumi! I hurriedly covered Megumi's mouth with my hands. Huh? Or what? Sorry, I wasn't really listening. Yuna-san raised her head as if coming back to herself. She really seemed to not have heard any of that. She hadn't even commented on my covering Megumi's mouth either. That's how preoccupied she seemed. Yeah, I almost guarantee it now that Sachi's having this reaction of being uncomfortable enough to ask Yuna, and now that we know that they can't touch each other, I'm guessing that they think with the new possession abilities that maybe they could possess Yuna to experience sex for the first time? I mean, because that's the only thing I can think of that links the possession setup with the problem going on now. Because that's classic setup and payoff. I'm sorry, Yuna-san. It's nothing really. Uh-huh. Yuna-san said again, turning her attention elsewhere. No, she wasn't paying attention to anything. She seemed completely dazed. Sachi-san? Oh, I'm sorry, Megumi. Even covering Megumi's mouth like this, I had no real ability to affect her voice after all. I couldn't even feel her face with my palms. Let's not ask her just yet. What? I can understand Megumi's dissatisfaction. Yuna-san is the only one who can solve our problem. But we can't do anything unless we get Yuna's help. Yes, she is exactly right. The two of us had produced a solution. For Megumi and I to possess Yuna-san and, if possible, Hina-chan, and experience our first time that way. Oh god. So you're not just gonna want to possess Yuna, you decide you're gonna possess Yuna and Hina. Oh man. Yeah, I could not imagine Yuna being okay with that in any way. You're better off not asking. But why do I get the feeling that this problem's not just gonna go away? All we needed to do was possess someone, borrowing their bodies. That would be a way of achieving our goal. Of course, we would need Yuna-san's cooperation to do so, but it'd be cruel to ask something like that of Yuna-san just now. You think so? Yes, it looks as though she's still overwhelmed with Hina-chan's confession. But it's already been over a week! That shows how much she's struggling with this. I can't believe she's taking her contemplation, I believe she's taking her contemplation very seriously. She should just hurry up and answer her. I don't think there's anything she needs to think so hard about. It may appear that way to you and me, Megumi, but I'm sure it's a question Yuna-san feels she must give due consideration to. Sheesh, what a pain! Let's give her some more time. Alright, Megumi? Sure. Yes, we can still wait longer. We've already waited 30 years after all. It shouldn't be at all difficult for us to wait until Yuna-san has arrived at her answer. For now, we need to allow our impassioned hearts to settle. Your answer to Hina-chan must really be important to you, Yuna-san. Even an observer can tell that you're not the same as usual. That's how deep your worries run. Very well. I want you to think long and hard, and if you give her a proper answer, I'll be happy. Jeez. Let's wait a little bit longer, alright? Yeah. Megumi still didn't seem satisfied as she answered, and at that moment, an announcement on the PA system rang out loud enough that we could hear it on the roof. Ario Aki-san of 2nd year Class C, Kobayuka-san of 2nd year Class D, please report to the guidance counselor's office after school today. Once more, Ario Aki-san of... Oh boy. I was wondering what might happen after they kissed on stage, because there's no way that wouldn't go unnoticed and untalked about and unaddressed by school faculty. I feel like even if it was a boy and a girl, it would still cause a lot of attraction. At least at my school, it would have, like, very strict rules about PDA, regardless of your sex or gender. Megumi, after school. Homeroom went a bit longer after classes. Then I was on cleaning duty, and a few other things all slowed me getting here. In front of the guidance counselor's office, Yoka and Aryo-san had been called here over the PA system during lunch, and I had found myself too curious to stay away. Megumi was already there, and when I called out to her, she pulled her head out of the office and turned to me. Are Yoka and Aryo-san already there? You're late, Yuna. They went in forever ago, and the teacher's already... Wait, what do you think you're doing? And she's mad. The other reason for my delay was currently clinging to my back. What do you want me to do? Sachi-san can't get into the building if we don't do this. Yep, Sachi-san. She'd stopped me outside before I could hurry to the guidance counselor's office, called me up to the roof, and told me she wanted to go along by possessing me. Well, I'm curious about Yoka-chan and Aki-chan, too. I asked Yuna-san to take me. That's that. Is that so? I suppose there's no helping it then, but don't get too close to Sachi-san, Yuna. Does it look like I have a choice? Deja vu, have we had this conversation before? I think we have. In my reality, Sachi-san, is the one clinging to me, but I suppose that's not how the world works to Megumi. Not a lot I can do about that now. So what's going on inside, Megumi? Oh, right. It looks like they're getting in trouble for the kiss on stage at the school festival. I thought so. I ducked into the wings as soon as Yoka's song ended, so I didn't see it, but... Apparently after Yoka's confession, she pulled Aryo-san up on stage with her and kissed her in front of everyone. I'd heard about the confessing part, but I didn't think she'd do that much. I'm not disappointed I missed the action, though. I kind of would have liked to see it. Hold on, that sentence is so weird. I'm not disappointed I missed the action, though I kind of would have liked to see it. Oh. Oh, Yuna. But she really did get in trouble, huh? I wonder if they could overlook this. I don't know. It looks like the vice principal is inside, too. The vice principal, too? Doesn't sound like a slap on the wrist, then. I wonder if they'll be suspended. Come to think of it, I heard Maki-san got 3 days suspension for that business with the 3rd year. Well, I don't know. In my opinion, I think if you physically assault someone the way Maki did, that's probably worth a little suspension, while, you know, kissing someone on stage probably I would think just maybe gets a slap on the wrist. But there's a reason why I don't run the education system or run any schools. What sort of punishment does kissing on stage at the school festival get you? I don't think they'll be expelled or anything. And I wonder if there's a difference in how they're treating Yoka and Aryo-san. If they were called here together, are they both getting in the same amount of trouble? But then again, I did hear of an all-girls private school that was in town where I grew up. And they took homosexuality very seriously. Like, if any girls showed affection towards one of each other that wasn't platonic, even like as a joke, as some girls tend to do, you know, you kind of joke about your affection with one another, and it's endearing, even though it might not have any romantic basis on it. Like, they take that so seriously that I've heard of girls who've gotten kicked out of the school. So schools have different rules, I guess, depending how they view those things. Either way, there's nothing we can really do. Huh? Tomi-chan? Surugamini-san? It was Surugamini-san. What are you doing here? Well, you know, since Yoka was called over here, I was kind of curious. About Yoka. Yeah, 'cause we're friends. Huh? You are? We were in the same class last year. I guess we just got along. I had no idea. That's kind of surprising. Surugamini-san seems like the serious type, but then there's Aryo-san. I wonder if Yoka just attracts those sorts. And Tsukio-chan was the one on the PA system, so... I'd forgotten about that part of Surugamini-san. Maybe she is kind of similar to Yoka, then. Is Tsukio-chan inside too, you think? She's in there too. Yeah, sounds like it. Huh, maybe Tsukio-chan can do something then. I wonder. The vice principal seems to be in there too. Oh yeah? Yoka really did something crazy, huh? Kissing Aryo-san? I kind of wish I'd seen that. I was too busy to go watch her show. Right. It's been a week since that busy, eventful school festival. I feel a bit sorry for Yoka and Aryo-san getting called here after all this time has passed already, but I guess that's just how serious Yoka's offense was. A week since the school festival. It's been that long. It's been that long, yet I still haven't responded to Hina at all. This is just reminding me of all the time that's passed since then. Well, there's nothing we can do until they're done in there, huh? Yeah. I like that Kiri came to support Yoka, you know, and see what was going on. Chatting a little with Surugamini-san and Sachi-san and Megumi, and then thinking about Hina again when the conversation ended. After that sort of time had passed, finally, the door to the guidance counselor's office opened, and Yoka and Aryo-san emerged from within. Sono-sensei followed them out as well. Thank you both for listening. Isn't quite right, is it? All you got was a warning this time, but you really can't do things like that, okay? I get that you were having fun at the school festival and all. Sono-sensei was admonishing them. A warning? If that's all they got, then there was no suspension or anything? Right. I'm sorry for the trouble. Well, it is good to cut loose while you're a student as you can, but don't make the teachers worry too much about you, alright? Yep, really sorry. It's rare to see Yoka acting so repentant. But I've got to ask her what happened, I suppose. Yoka! Oh? Hearing my shout, Yoka perked up and turned my way. Surugamini-san called out to Yoka, and Sono-sensei after me. Ah, Yoka! Hey, Tsukio-chan, what happened with Yoka? What are you two doing here? Well, you called them over, so... Yoka hasn't been suspended or anything, has she? Nah, I'm good. Made it out with just a warning. I see. That's good. Really, it was something Yoka did, but I wouldn't feel right if she gotten suspended or expelled because of it. You two should reflect seriously on your actions, alright? Right. I can't believe you just got a warning for that. You kissed up on stage, right? Well... Sono-sensei came to our rescue. Thank you so much, Sensei. Tsukio-chan? I'm impressed that Sono-sensei would defend Yoka in front of the vice principal. That's what it had seemed like, according to Megumi, who'd peeked inside. Oh, it's fine, as long as you reflect on it. I think suspension is too harsh for something like that. That's my Tsukio-chan. Hey, Surugamini-san! Oh, Surugamini-san grabbed Sono-sensei. They've always kind of been like this, but now that I know they're, well, together, it's kind of hard to watch. When you're together, like, I guess you can hug each other and stuff like that. If I answered Hina, would we... No, what am I thinking about? I was more surprised to hear that it was with Aryu-san personally. Hey, let go of me, Tsurugamini-san. I didn't think you two were that close. Sorry, but, like, it's kind of hard to imagine. Well... Phew, Tsurugamini-san's voice brought me back to myself a little. Good. And just when I thought that, that's all thanks to Yuna. Yoka suddenly turned to me. Oh, props to Yoka for, you know, giving credit where it's deserved. Huh? What? Tomi-chan? Everyone's eyes all turned to me. Yep, it was all thanks to the advice and stuff Yuna gave me. I totally forgot to thank you. What? You don't need to thank me or anything. What are you saying all of a sudden, Yoka? You did, Yuna? Really? Yep, those perfect lyrics of mine only happened because Yuna was there every step of the way to critique them. She really tore me a new one at first, but thanks to Yuna's advice, the lyrics got better and better. Yoka, cut it out. I know I did that, but... Don't be so modest. I only had the perfect song because you were there, Yuna. The perfect show. And I only got to be friends with Aki because you told me to start there. I know I said that, but... I'm really freaking grateful. It was all thanks to you that everything with Aki and my show went well, Yuna. You were way cool back there too, Aki. What you said to the vice principal was rock as heck. I'm only here right now because of you, Yuna. I didn't have a choice but to do all that. It was all to help Sachi-san and Megumi. Right, to get Yoka and Aryu-san together. To get them to become a couple. A couple. One that kisses, like Yoka and Aryu-san did on stage at the school festival. That hugs, like Tsurugamini-san and Sono-sensei are doing now. Kiss, hug. Are those things that couples can do? Is that why they do them? If I became a couple with Hina, like Yoka and Arya-san, like Sono-sensei and Tsurugamini-san, both of them, two couples in front of me, right now. Their faces are all... My head's becoming a huge mess. Stop it! The mess became too much and I shouted. Oh? Shouting cleared my head quickly after I realized that I'd shouted, after I realized that everyone was staring at me. I felt like they could see through everything I was thinking. Sorry. I couldn't be there anymore. My legs just started moving on their own. Hey, Yuna! Wait, Yuna, where are you going? I was running. Wait, Yuna-san, if you run like that, I'll lose my grip. Well, I can't just stop, can I? I want to get away as fast as I can. Please, if you're going to go somewhere, could you go toward the inner building? You won't let go of me here, will you? Ah, jeez. What happens if Sachi were to let go of Yuna and she can't be in that building? Would she just, like, respawn back at the roof or something, or in the inner building? Like, what would happen? Have they ever discussed that? Was that part of one of their tests over summer break? I don't remember if they addressed it or not. But, yeah. Oh, poor Yuna. Poor Yuna. Though I did like the coming together of the worlds. Like Tsurugamini, or Kiri and Tsukio and Aki and Yoka, and then Megumi, Sachi, and Yuna were all like together in the same hallway. It was like coming together, the blending of all the worlds. It was very cool. Whew. I sighed next to Yuna-san, who was panting roughly. A hallway in the inner building. Yuna-san had finally stopped there. The hall was deserted besides Yuna-san. The third years using the inner building classrooms had mostly retired from their clubs and committees, and this building was now quiet for the most part. Yuna-san was trying to get her breathing back under control. She'd been running with all her might. You were running at an incredible pace, Yuna-san. It was all I could do to keep clinging to you, I remarked, though perhaps Yuna-san was still having trouble breathing, because she didn't answer me. However, after a short time, her breathing regained its composure. She stood still in the hallway, taking deep breaths. Say, Yuna-san, I ventured, what happened? Why did you run from there? What's on your mind? What made it so necessary to escape? I don't know, Yuna-san answered in a tiny voice. I don't know, she muttered once more. I see. Why don't you know? I merely asked her, since that was all I could do. Anything you have to say is fine. Would you tell me about it? But I could at least do that. Yeah, Yuna has this weird... I've noticed with Yuna in this game is that she doesn't really open up to very many people, does she? Because the first time we've really only seen her open up is with Hina at summer camp, when she decided to confide in her about what happened with the cooking club back in junior high. But other than that, Yuna doesn't really talk about her feelings much, and I find it most surprising with Ano, who's her other friend. And Ano seems like a good friend, a good person, and even when it came to helping Yoka at the school festival, when she got the tip that Yoka was, was very nervous about the performance and not go on, Yuna even obsessed over... What do I tell Ano? Like, Ano might seriously not understand if Yuna wanted to all of a sudden go to the tatami rooms, which I think is where Yoka was having her freak out. And to me, that would seem like such a minor, trivial thing to worry about, especially in front of a friend. And it's so interesting because with Sachi, too, she's had chances to open up to Sachi, and she doesn't. I find it very interesting about her character. Very consistent throughout the game. Yeah. So we'll see if she'll open up to Sachi here finally or not. You can take it slow. I won't tell anyone else. I could at least listen to Yuna-san's feelings. I'm a ghost after all, so you don't need to worry about confiding in me. I can listen if you'll just tell me about whatever it is you don't know right now. I won't tell anyone, of course. Not Megumi, and not Hina-chan either. I don't know, Yuna-san answered once more, but this time I understood what she meant. About Hina-chan. Mm-hmm. I see. You don't love Hina-chan? You love her then? Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. I don't need to ask you that to know, but I'll let you continue. So Sachi did figure it out. I had a feeling. Since we've always been together, ever since we were little, no, since we were born, we were always together. We always played together, ate together, went to the same school. So, I don't know. That's how long Yuna-san and Hina-chan have been together. Their relationship isn't like mine and Megumi's, which started from her confession. In that case, I can understand where Yuna-san's hesitation comes from. Can I tell Hina that I love her? And if I do, what will happen? I don't know. Not to echo Yuna-san's words earlier, but love is different for everyone. The love I feel for Megumi and the love Yuna-san feels for Hina-chan are different. So is the love Hina-chan feels for Yuna-san. If Yuna-san responded to Hina-chan's feelings, it wouldn't make their feelings the same. Even if it's all love, the feeling is different for every person who feels it. You're right. I responded. It might not help Yuna-san with the doubts and fears she has right now, but I was the same way. I said, remembering. It was quite long ago now, when I was still living, 80 years ago. I didn't know either what I felt for the girl who spoke to me then, whether it was love or just admiration. I only understood in that last moment. I may have worried about the same thing, struggling to make sense of it, even though I couldn't even speak to her. No, I doubt I was thinking as seriously as you are now, Yuna-san. I avoided facing my own feelings. I became a ghost because of my cowardice. Have I changed some since I met Megumi? You two told me that I had. Say, Yuna-san, you're so troubled right now, so confused, trying to face Hina-chan's confession. I don't need to read your heart to tell. That's good. I'm jealous of you, because you've always had the courage to face your fears. Say, Yuna-san. I can only tell her one thing. I've watched all sorts of girls since I met you, girls in love. They all valued their feelings, their love. On both sides, those who confessed and those who were confessed to, they faced the feeling of love for that other person inside them. I'm the same. I love Megumi. This feeling is mine and mine alone. So, Yuna-san, I understand. Loving someone, that feeling, it's yours and yours alone. If that feeling has sprouted inside you, Yuna-san, then it's yours and yours alone. Love is something you experience for yourself. As I said that, I remembered. That's right, we spoke like this once before. July, before summer vacation, in the inner building, I said the same thing to Yuna-san then, that if there was something clouding her heart, she could tell me about it. That time you said you wouldn't, and now you're struggling with something else, but this time you told me. Does that mean I've become someone you can open up to? That I've become someone you'll answer? Say, Yuna-san, you can struggle and you can think. As long as you find a real answer for Hina-chan in the end, I'll be happy. That's nice. I do like that Yuna was a bit more open with Sachi in that scene. Because it's nice. It's nice to see Yuna opening up, because it seems even around her friends or the people she's closest to, she struggles with connecting. And I know we've sort of seen Yuna get closer to people like Nena, for instance, and even calling out to Sasa and Umi at the during summer camp, just sort of willy-nilly, which for her wasn't quite in character. I mean, it was in character in the sense of that's where her character is headed, but it was very contrasting from sort of this closed-off nature she has, and nature's not the right word, this closed-off personality she has at the moment. So it's nice to see her open up a little bit to Sachi, too, because to me it seems like Sachi and Megumi and her have formed a really nice friendship at this point. I mean, we saw, like, the epitome of that during summer break when Yuna comes and visits them on the roof, and she has no obligation to be at school. And that's I love that moment. And it was cool to see now Yuna opening up a bit more to Sachi. Again, really nice, steady character development happening with Yuna's character, and I very much enjoy it. I don't know. I think I said the same thing at school to Sachi-san in the inner building, and I'm saying it now too. No, maybe not the same. It's even clearer to me now. I've realized that my feelings are full of confusion. Why did I run from everyone in front of the guidance counselor's office? It was because I realized. I saw Yoka and Aryo-san and Tsurugamini-san and Sono-sensei. I saw them, and something welled up in me. Something welled up in me so completely. When I saw them all, I was so jealous that they could stand so unflinchingly beside the person they loved like that. They were so bright that I couldn't look anymore. So I ran from them. Why was I jealous? I don't know. I don't know why I was so jealous. Does jealousy mean that there's something I admire about them? Still, why did I run? The answer's the same there. It was just spinning around in my head. The same thing that's been whirling around since that day. I don't know. I just don't know. That's right, Hina. Hina, who told me she loves me. I don't know. No matter how many times I think about it, it's like the more I think, the less I know. I love Hina. There's no way I could hate her. That's unthinkable. Hina told me she loves me. That kind of love. That's why I don't know. I love Hina too. Is this love the kind that can answer Hina's? My childhood friend, a year younger than me. I thought of her as practically family, as something like a little sister, so I'd been shocked that Hina had the same feelings for me as all the people I'd been observing until now. Was I looking at Hina in that way? Have I ever felt that way about Hina before? Will I feel the same way now that Hina's confessed to me? Can I tell Hina that I love her? I repeated the same words I'd said to Sachi-san. My thoughts were going in the same direction that they had during our conversation. I wouldn't think Hina's feelings are strange anymore, not after seeing so many girls with such earnest, genuine feelings for each other. I wouldn't think that feeling is strange. I couldn't think a feeling so bright as strange, or a lie, or a mistake. So I know Hina's feelings are true. They're directed at me, and she's made them clear. If I answered Hina that I love her too, if I answered that, Hina and I would become a couple. But can we really? Can I feel so strongly about Hina as everyone else seems to? What if my mom and dad, or her mom and dad, were against it? What if people looked at her oddly? Could I support her then? Could I still love her? I don't know. There may be no point in thinking any of this, since I still don't know if I really love Hina or not. Hina. I thought back to the Hina I'd known until now, the childhood friend who was like a sister to me, and I compared her to the Hina I'd seen recently. When we talked about me over those potatoes during summer vacation, Hina, who'd silently listened, I learned then that Hina had been watching me all that time, that she'd realized that I was dragging around what had happened to me in middle school, even though I'd never told her anything. When I told her all those things I'd never been able to tell anyone, she smiled and told me she was happy that I had, even though I made her worry about me for so long. That smile. After that, I'd seen her running in the morning during the camp. I'd seen her on those dates with her senpai at the school festival, and she confessed to me. Why? Her face then, her form, I couldn't seem to connect them with the Hina from before. I tried to put them together in my mind, but it was like they just slid out of focus. It didn't work. My pulse sped up, and it didn't work. My face felt hot, and while it wasn't working, I lost track all over again. Then I started over again. From the beginning again. Do I love Hina? Definitely. But that way? I'm thinking about it so much, but why can't I find an answer? Did everyone else come up with a solution to this unsolvable question? I recalled Sachi's words. Loving someone, that feeling, it's yours and yours alone. If that feeling has sprouted inside you, Yuna-san, then it's yours and yours alone. Love is something you experience for yourself. Sachi-san had said with that usual gentle smile of hers. She seemed so proud of her feelings. Sachi-san's face had been bright too, but I hadn't wanted to run from it. I knew that the words she was speaking and the kind voice she was using to say them were for my sake. Yet, right now, I still don't know. If those words will lead me to resolve my worries, the love Sachi-san spoke of, I've never experienced it before, so I don't know. Oh, Yuna, that's pretty common, though. You're not alone in feeling that way when you kind of first fall in love. And especially if you kind of have that closed-off personality. It can be very, very hard when someone confesses to you. Anyway, that was nice. That was kind of long, so I apologize. But that was a whole day. That was whole October 1st. So next time, we will continue on with October. We're jumping a week in advance, another week ahead, so I guess we don't have anything exciting going on for another week, which is fine. And thanks again for watching, y'all, and I will talk to you on the next one. Take care.